Yeah.
Hi everyone, again, thank you for coming. My name is Mona. I'm the chairperson of Education Care for All. Really appreciate everyone showing up for Mohammad Alqamousi. Again, thank you for coming. If you guys have any questions, we're going to be giving an open discussion at the end of his talk. So yeah, let's kick it off to Mohammad Alqamousi.
Hello everyone. So I'm Mohammad Alqamousi, which is heard. So I'm 22 years old. I was born and raised here in Dearborn. My mom's Lebanese, my dad is Iraqi, so I'm half best of both worlds. I started off school with, I went to Miller for elementary school. After that I went to Lori for middle school, and I graduated from Fortune High School in 2013. Then, like most people, went to Henry Ford for a few years, for a couple of years, and look into what I want to do. I first, out of high school, I wanted to do accounting. My dad's an accountant, so he kind of pushed that to me to be an accountant. I went to Henry Ford for about a year, focusing just on accounting, and I hated it, so I stopped. And my mom and dad are a little more open and free and let me do what I want to do. I went in for accounting. After that, I stopped for a little. I ended up switching to computer science because I thought that would be a much better option. So I went to computer science. I was almost finished graduating, and I hated it again. And I'm like, if I switch again, it's gonna look bad. Just do it, and it's okay. Just finish it. It's a good job. You get good money. It's fine. But then the other side of the brain is like, no, just stop and do what you love. Who cares? It takes so long. So I stopped. I took a semester off of school, which is looked down upon. A lot. Take a semester off of school, you're dropping out, even though I knew I was going to go back. So I took a semester off, realized what exactly I wanted to do. I went back. I did some research. I talked to a few counselors at Wayne State, U of M and R.
Yeah, how are you?
They didn't really help as much either. So when I was younger, I used to always bake at home and cook a little bit with my mom. Those little boxed Betty Crocker cakes. So I used to do those. I decided to go to culinary school. I did some research about where the best spot to do culinary is. So there's Schoolcraft near the area. There's Schoolcraft, there's Henry Ford, and there is Michigan Culinary Institute. So those are the three top places in near Metro Detroit here who do culinary. The only one though who's accredited surprisingly so there's this group called the American Culinary Federation, and it's very good to be accredited by them because it's like the MCAT, or it's like a doctor. You need to be accredited by some big organization. Henry Ford is the only one that's accredited because they're a place you can get your bachelor's in. Schoolcraft, I believe you can get your bachelor's, and at Michigan Culinary Institute, at Michigan Culinary Institute, you can only get your associates and a few certificates. So also in the back of my mind was like, am I really going to go back to Henry Ford? Am I going to be that guy to go back there? And I kind of put what other people would think outside, like of my mind, because while you're going to Henry Ford, you're just going to do, how people think about it. So I went back, took my first semester there, loved it, and took my second semester there with them. I also loved it. During the second semester, my teacher saw a lot of, motivation for me to do better. And I was doing very well with the rest of my other classmates. So they recommended I apply to Disney. So that was a little hard because, going away from home, I never, the mom was on which wants to stay. So I never thought I was going to honestly get in. It was very hard. So I ended up applying just to see what was going to happen. So I applied out of 6, so the chef, or one of the chefs from Disney comes to you and interviews you here. So he came to our school craft in the Michigan Culinary Institute, interviewed 60 people. So he was supposed to accept 4 out of 60. So he did the interviews, very intimidating man. This chef, he comes off very intimidating. It's a 2-on-1 interview, so it's me and another student with the chef who's interviewing me. So anyway, we did it. You wait a week and you get your email or your phone call. And I got my email saying I was accepted. And then what I realized after was out of the 60 students that he interviewed, I was the only one that got accepted. So that was very good for me. I ended up telling my mom. She started crying. So anyway, it started in January. I went down there in January. So in Disney, they throw you like literally in the kitchen right away. Questions asked. They just see how you do. So I went, passed all my courses. There's a few tests you have to take, hands-on tests and whatnot. And we did everything. We ran. I worked at Cinderella. I mean, you went to Disney. I worked at Cinderella's Castle, the art guest piece. My main place was called the Artist Palette, where I did mostly baking, but I also did culinary down there. I did the program there for 4 months. It was great. If anyone ever gets a chance to do it, you should definitely do it. It's a great program, great experience. After the program, if you do a good job, you offer you a job, of course, but I want to come back and finish my degree. I have about 1.5 years left. So once I'm done with my degree, if anything happens with the goal center, you come back and you open up a place you have to work somewhere here. Right now I'm at For a Love of Sugar, downtown Detroit, Montreal. So that's it. One thing I do want to stress very much is a lot of people here care too much about what people think, and they become a doctor, they become a lawyer, they become a pharmacist, and that's fine. If you love it, do it. Most people, my friends, don't, and they just do it because their parents either, want them to do it, or they're just, scared of what other people will think. The one thing I noticed is when you actually go outside and do something different, people appreciate that much more, and they want to do that. So I have about maybe 1.5 years until I finish, and then we'll see what happens from there.
What would you say would be good advice for somebody who's interested in going into culinary arts?
Sure. Number one, it's not, if you're there for the money in the beginning, it's not a good place to be. Now you will make money, so you will make money after a while, definitely, but it's hard work. You're gonna work, like a chef, and they're gonna be very strict on you, long hours, and not as much money. After a while, though, once you're at a certain point, you get, of course, the payoff is so much more. And if you have the passion for it, it doesn't matter. As long as you love doing it, that's all that matters. Because honestly, I go to work every day, I enjoy it. It's not like I'm going to work. I go and I have fun, I make my cakes, and I come home. So my focus right now is mostly baking and pastry. I also do a lot of culinary too, so I'm trying to shift myself towards culinary because I do that also, and I want to focus on that more.
What attracts you most about baking? Do you enjoy making other things?
So baking is the art form. You can be very creative. One thing though with baking you can't do, one thing in culinary that you can't do with baking is it's very hard to create. This is a bad spot to be saying this. It's very hard to create healthy desserts. So you can make gluten. So my mom has celiac disease, so which means she can't have any gluten. Everything is gluten free. So that is healthy, but there's still sugar. There's still gonna be the butter and the sugar, all that stuff. So I would make stuff out of my house, and I would sell it to my friends and give it to my family. But I would feel a little guilty because I know what's in there, and I'm giving that to them. So when I know what's in there, and I'm giving someone something that I wouldn't personally eat, even though I know it tastes good, but I wouldn't eat it, and I give it to them, and it's not a good feeling. I'd rather give someone a very healthy meal or a very healthy dessert if you could. Yeah, and I think that's honestly why I do enjoy culinary more, but baking is definitely more artsy. I like fruit design. If anyone does. She's doing baking too, and Smalla, she's doing very well for herself.
I know you mentioned earlier a little bit about the cultural obstacles. I know maybe it's not just in one culture, because I know we're all suffering from that, where our parents have ambitions for us.
Right.
What were some of the ways that you felt that you could overcome that? I know you mentioned your parents are a little bit more liberal.
Sure.
Would you say there was anything in particular that helped you?
So, my dad, of course, he wanted me to be an accountant because my brother actually became a CPA. He's also an accountant. So it was a little hard, especially when I said I'm going to take a semester off school and I don't care what anyone thinks. I want to figure out what I'm going to do with my life. I'm not going to go to work every day as a desk job. So I ended up just taking it off. Even when I would tell some of my friends, they really weren't as, they were like, sure, but you kind of tell they weren't as motivated for me. I knew I wasn't going to drop out from high school. I was always a good student and I enjoyed school. I just needed to figure out what I was going to do, because the worst feeling is to just do something. And that's something even, like, I hope there's not a lot of parents here, but even if you have to fight your parents, don't do something you don't want to do. And sometimes though, they do look out for the best for you. And maybe you don't want to be a doctor, or you don't want to be a pharmacist. So you got to do what you want. Any questions from me?
So, just being kind of nosy. So, like, see how you said the chefs were very intimidating, or the chef when he interviewed you? Like, how did the interview go? Like, what did he interview about?
So, in culinary, which I'm not very fond of, this interview process was, he doesn't care about who you are as a person, he cares about what you know. So if you're knowledgeable about your food and your temps, your temperatures, safety. So we'll ask like, what's the internal temperature of chicken supposed to be when it's safe to cook? I'll ask what's the temperature of a water bath need to be in cooker custody, or stuff like that. Sanitation. More stuff as with knowledge more than with. About, like, we go to interviews here, they're more about what would you do in this situation, what would you do in this situation. And one of the questions I had was, if you had to make 400 desserts if you had to make 400 desserts for kids at Disney, what would you make? They have to be plated desserts. So I said I would make like a brownie, a Mickey Mouse brownie. Like a plate, whipped cream on the side, a circle brownie for the mouse, fruit design on the ears, and some orange for the nose. But anyway, so they'll ask me stuff like that, and you just gotta think really fast. The interview's only 15 minutes, and it'll go. And what makes it worse is they'll sit you down, and the other person's there too. So I'll ask you, and then I'll ask you, and I'll ask you, and then see. Compare answers and stuff. And see which ones.
Like, was the application process long? Like, was it like a long time?
Very.
By the time you applied, by the time you got an interview?
Yes, about 3.5 to 4 months. Yeah, 3.5 to 4 months to get the interview. When you get the interview, though, surprisingly, the chef comes out here to interview you. So he comes out here and interviews you. You find out a week later. But it's the most stressful week. Because you don't know if you're going to get in, and it's just, when you tell your friends and family I applied, and you don't get in, it's just,
That's why you don't tell them anything.
So, yeah.
What was the most challenging task that you overcame
So that would be time efficiency. So when you cook at Disney, you don't cook for 20, 30 people, you cook for thousands and thousands of people. Like on a day, we would do about 6,000 covers, which is like a lot, you know, and volume baking. So over here we have a recipe of 1 pound of flour, 20 pounds of flour, and 10 pounds of sugar. Over there it's like 600 pounds of flour. They have many mixers, and it's all one. You have to measure out each one in different mixers. So it's definitely volume and time efficiency to make sure it's all done at the same time. Also, living away from home. I've never lived away from home. This was the first time. Best thing ever. It was great experience. But that was one thing that I had to. One thing very cool about it though is you meet people from all over the world. I made friends from Brazil, from Mexico, from Australia, London, New Zealand, chefs from all over the world. Who teach you very, stuff you won't really learn here. From different cuisines to different spices that we don't even know about. So it's very, it was an amazing program. And anyone who chooses at all to be a chef or anything, that's a great program to learn.
What's one dessert that you learned there that you didn't pick up from Google, that you didn't know how to make?
We did a strawberry rhubarb. So, in all honesty, I didn't know what rhubarb was until about 3 months ago.
I don't know what it is.
Oh, okay. So rhubarb is a type of, it's a plant, they make like rhubarb pie with it. There's strawberry and rhubarb sort of a fruit. It's also, it could be, is it a vegetable? Anyway, fruit or vegetable. The point is it's a red stem and a green leaf. And it has a sweet flavor. I think it is a vegetable because it is a leaf, but it's a sweet flavor. So you put that in with, usually it's strawberry rhubarb, it's a mixture, you make a tart or a pie or something like that. And it just has this amazing flavor to it. We made this strawberry rhubarb plated dessert with some balsamic glaze and a lime vinaigrette on top. And it came out very, very nice. That was one thing. One thing I'm more experienced with is more plated desserts now than I am with cakes and cupcakes and stuff like that. I'm more into plated desserts because even with plated desserts, there's more design to it than just making a cake. Even though making a cake you can design it, but when you, in my opinion, when you have a plate and you design your plate, you just feel just better. It comes out better. So that's why.
How is your current job there? With a lot of sugar? How are you finding the things that you've
So I opened up with Manal when she first opened. I was on her opening team. She's amazing. She's very, very, very talented. I was there. So before she even opened, I told her, hey, I'm applying to Disney. So if I get in, I'm leaving. So she was very encouraging about it. She was like, of course, you should go. That's why I really liked about her. She's like, you should go, you should learn, and grow yourself. So I went there, I came back. When I came back, I had a few opportunities, and I'll be totally honest with you guys, I had better opportunities. I decided to go back to her because, like I said, it's not really sometimes about money, it's about where you're comfortable being, and she's amazing to work with, and I went back there, even if it was for less pay or stuff, it's totally because you just need to be comfortable where you work. So
It's
that's
very
why-
loyal. Thank you. She is an amazing.
She is, yeah. That's great. For those of you who haven't been, it's a great place.
What days are you there? Do you work off?
So yeah, I'm off Wednesdays and Saturdays. I'm usually there nights. I'm the manager there now. So I'm the closing manager. I'm there 1:30 to 9, except Wednesdays and Saturdays. Actually, Fridays we close at midnight, so I'm there until.
And I think you take a part in the weekends.
Yeah, so I'm in charge of the kitchen staff and the baristas. So over there it's more of a coffee shop and it's a bakery. So I'm in charge of kitchen staff and baristas. My focus more on my kitchen, honestly. One of the most important things to me in the kitchen is to make sure, see, I don't really care if food tastes good. I care if food is clean. So a lot of places here, they don't really, as long as they give out a good product and it tastes good, people are happy. I'd rather eat at a place that has okay food, but I know the kitchen is very, very clean, and a place that has great food, I know the kitchen is clean. So I focus more about cleanliness in the kitchen that we have, and I try to be fair with this. It's a very fun environment here. We're not really as strict on them. If anyone might be already a maker, anyone needs a job. But it's a great place. Great place.
Lastly, when you touched upon this a little bit earlier, where do you see yourself in 5 years? What is your ultimate goal?
Okay, so there's a few. So I don't know yet if I'm going to put my own this way. My main goal is, I always want to stay. I don't want to say I always want to stay in the community because I don't honestly lie. I'm not going to say that just to say it. But I do want to get back to the community definitely. I maybe would open up my own restaurant. If not, I would see myself probably, hopefully, in the next 5 years somewhere in Vegas or somewhere in big cities like Vegas, Dubai, New York. That's where culinary, most of the money is there. Most of the chefs are there. That's where you learn the most. Money on the side, that's where you gain the most experience and knowledge. So even if I was going to go somewhere out of state, I would learn from there and hopefully come back. But over here, there's not a big food vibe. Like there is, but it's not as intense and right. We focus more on like Middle Eastern food. There's some Italian places here and stuff, but when you go and you learn Indian, Middle Eastern, Asian, and then you make a cuisine that has all those in one, that's kind of what the goal is, to make something that has everything, and that from any culture, any background, would love to go enjoy. So, also one of my main things is to make sure it's healthy. So I was, before I went to Disney, I was 225 pounds. So I weighed a good amount, and I was a baker, so it didn't help. So I started focusing more on, that's when I would give my friends and family sweets, and I would feel guilty because I know it's in there and I wouldn't want to eat that. So I started going to the gym a lot more and working out, and I went down to Disney, and even here right now, nutrition is a very big deal for, I think, everyone. Food nourishes the body. It shouldn't affect you. It should make you healthy. And there's a lot of different diets out there, but in my opinion, if you just eat a little bit of everything, and not focus yourself on, what's that one, ketone diet or something, or you just have, what's it called? Keto diet, where you just have straight up meat. It's very unhealthy, very, very unhealthy, because it's all just oil and fat in your body. So we have some people who do the vegan diet, which is fine. I respect that. It's very hard to do. And I'll be honest with you, I was on it for about 2 weeks. But the problem is when you limit your body so in school we study nutrition and all that, so I learned from this. When you limit your body to a certain type of food, let's say I'm just going to have vegetables for 6 months. When I go have a piece of chicken or a piece of meat, your body's going to reject it. Your body shouldn't reject anything. Your body should be healthy enough to have everything in moderation. When you go and you're insane on veganism, that's also not healthy. It's like being insane on, what's it called? Keto diet. That one, yeah. So, in my opinion, that's one thing I would want to focus on the most, is to make sure that anyone could have a balance. So one of the key words that you guys have heard is a balanced meal. All those cereal commercials have a balanced breakfast. Same thing. Balanced meal. You have to make sure it's balanced. Meat, chicken, vegetables. Not meat every day, of course, but throw it in. So that'd be it. Any questions from anyone?
What are your favorite dishes to make, I guess?
So definitely, this is one of the first ones I've learned. Shrimp Alfredo. That was a great, great dish. Very easy to make. It seems like difficult, but it's the easiest recipe. Shrimp Alfredo. You guys ever seen Ratatouille?
Yeah.
That, I love making that. That's great. Chicken Parmesan, definitely. Baking wise, plate of desserts, I would have to say. I love cinnamon rolls. I love making cinnamon rolls. I love dough. Anything with bread, I love dough. So cinnamon rolls, I love to make those. I'm trying to learn, of course, the hajj's foods. But those are, as much as you make them, you can never make it like your mom.
Yeah.
So trying to learn, the food and all those stuff. And it takes time, but eventually. Like imagine you could make American style, right? Some type of cuisine that has luchia or lubia. We'll go insane. Right now at Manad, we have the knefa cake. People haven't heard of that,
And macaroni too.
Yeah, we have the knefa macaroon too, the ashla macaroon. So when they come and they have it, they go insane for it because it's different. And rose waters, and we have Middle Eastern food that's expensive. But, yeah. Yes.
I may have caught the tail end of this, so I don't know if you said it previously or not, but where are you based out of? We're from Florida, and if we
Sure.
have a place in Florida, that'd be great, because I noticed the Walt Disney, so.
Sure. Yeah, so I was born and raised here,
Okay.
and I did an internship always. So right now I'm currently working in downtown Detroit. Right here,
You're
yes.
not going back down?
So I might after, I have to get my degree though. So I need about a year, and I'll have my degree.
Good luck.
We're from Florida.
North Miami.
Oh, very nice. Very nice. Yeah, I was in.
Originally from Michigan, though.
Oh, from
We're
Dearborn?
both originally
We're
from
both from
Michigan.
Michigan.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
We were
Moved
located-
down.
Isn't it so much better over there? No.
Yeah.
It's
No,
nice.
Thank you.
I have a question just to piggyback off of her. How do you prevent yourself or, you must have really strong willpower to not overeat your own adequate to stay in shape.
So.
It's amazing food, so being around it 24/7.
Right. When you see chefs everywhere, usually the good chefs. This is something we learned in school. The good chefs are the ones who are fit. When you see a fat chef. This is going a little on the top. When you see a fat chef, usually, of course, there's different circumstances.
Right.
Talking about in Germany. Chefs should be fit. They should go to the gym and work out because when you become a chef, you're also becoming a nutritionist. You're also
Right.
learning about food.
Right.
And when you know what's in food and you're cooking your own food, you want to make sure it's the best food. You don't want to go and have, a burger every day or stuff like that. And I wouldn't eat like that, When you're born and raised here, we all eat, basha and all those places. And they're great, they're good food. It's just, it's not very healthy. When I make something, if I know what's in it, like for example, I make something that has butter, or lots and lots of butter isn't bad for you necessarily, but if it's a lot of butter, a lot of sugar, I try to lower it. My dad has diabetes, so I always try to lower it a
Right.
little more. My mom, I also sounded to you guys, my mom has celiac disease, so she can't have anything with gluten. So I would try to make stuff a more healthy option. And over here, we're at this bakery, perfect example. He does stuff with stevia and protein.
Right.
So that's a great idea. A lot of people don't do that.
Shout out to Chi-Chi's.
Yes, definitely,
Yeah.
definitely. Yeah. So
Do you make your own food all the time?
most of the time, yeah. Most of me and my mom, definitely. But we go out once in a while, and of course, you go and you have a good time, you have fun. But the more, so I'll be honest with you, I was still in computer science. When I would hit my job, I would try to be fat. So because I would never learn about nutrition and food, more aspects of that.
I have a question.
Yes.
So do you see yourself nitpicking at food when you go out to eat? 'Cause I know my mom, she's not a chef, but when she goes out to eat, she just doesn't like anything. She she can make it better.
So 2 years ago, no. Right now, it's very hard not to be.
Yeah.
Just because, so when you learn basics, and I didn't even graduate.
Yeah.
When you learn basics and you go to some restaurant that's amazing, and they can't do basics, that's when you get angry. You know, when you know, it's not very. So everyone has their own style. Like when I go to restaurants, I always try to, you know, like.
Be open-minded.
Yes, definitely. Be open-minded, and you know, it's not that I can make it better. It's just I can make it different.
Yeah.
You know, he or she, you have to say she, has a style, and they. I'm definitely more nitpicky than I was, you know, because you learn about it. Once you learn about it, for example, if you're a dentist and well, this is a good example. If you're a dentist, why would you go to a dentist? But if you're, you know, someone give an example. If
You're a doctor, why would you?
yeah, if you go to a doctor and then you go to another doctor and you see that he's not a good doctor, you would get upset.
Yeah.
It's like, no, you're doing this wrong. You learned this wrong. You know, stuff like that. So definitely, I am more picky than I was. Yeah. It's hard. Yeah. Anyone else?
Any other questions?
What are your plans for the future, like in terms of career-wise? Where do you see yourself in 10 years? Let's say?
So 10 years maybe. So
Iron Chef?
no. Whatever happens. I do try to, you know, take it step by step, 100%. I never want to think too far into the future, but I do see myself in a big city, maybe even having a restaurant, maybe here or.
What's the
somewhere.
ideal city for Muhammad would be?
That's a good question. There's a couple. There's about 4. I'm gonna say there's 4.
Okay.
Las Vegas, they have a very good. Las Vegas, yeah, right. Yeah, so Las Vegas has a great culinary vibe over there. New York also has a great culinary vibe. Dubai surprisingly has a great culinary vibe, and Dearborn, because I was born and raised here. So it would be definitely one of those 4. I hope it's not. It might probably end up like Korea or something, but we'll see. Hopefully. But yeah.
I have another one, and my last one, but I'm very curious about like the habits of highly effective people. We always read about it and watch videos about it to try to improve ourselves. So what's your daily routine like?
For what? I'm sorry. For
Like,
highly effective.
habits of highly effective people.
Oh, okay. So when I wake up, so this is how I used to go to the gym every day 4 a.m. I wake up every day. I'm going to Planet Fitness because they're open 24 hours. Crunch opened, it's $10 an hour, but they're not open 24 hours. Anyway, so I would go there every day 4 a.m. I used to work at Chase Bank right here on Ford Road. So we'd go there, be home by. So some people go to the gym, they spend 2 hours. I'm more of high intensity. I go in for a half hour and a half because I feel, and it's studied that high intensity is much more effective than staying there for a long hour. So I do cardio mostly, and I come back home. I shower. My breakfast would mostly be egg whites. Even right now, it's egg whites. Actually, today I had my ish, but yeah. So it would be egg whites, oatmeal. So some people they would have not oatmeal, yeah, oatmeal. They add sugar to it, and they make it very, sweet. What I do is I add granola. There's a pumpkin flavored granola. It's on Kroger. It's freaking amazing. You guys try it. Yeah. So I only add that to it. Only that it makes it sweet. Even sweetness from fruits. I would have fruits a lot. Meat is a big factor in weight loss. Definitely. I just don't think you should cut it out, in my opinion. But meat, if you have less meat, less chicken, and less seafood, you will lose weight. But you don't want to go insane about it because that's how you become unhealthy. So you'll lose weight, but you also become unhealthy. So it depends on what you're going for. That's honestly, I go to the gym. I still go to the gym today. To be honest with you, I don't really go at 4 a.m. because sometimes my job starts early.
Right.
But if I do the closing shift, which is most days, I do go early in the morning around 6 because my job starts at 1:30.
Yeah.
So that's more. It's more honestly when you become one thing about being a chef is when you learn about food, when you learn about nutrition, you become much healthier, become much happier. You go out and you much more active, much more energy. Before I used to have it, you know. Even my friends would see me now, you can tell I'm much more active and much more energy. So just try your best to eat healthy and
Right.
eat from clean places.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, that's the problem. You don't know. What
You don't know, I know.
You don't know.
That's the problem, yeah.
They look clean, but you don't know.
Yeah. That's the trouble I had. So I used to work at Dearborn's Banquet Hall. I was there for 7 years. So the chef there, his name was Chef Sublime. Great man. We were going out one time and I was going out with one of the waiters there. And I told him, come. And he doesn't eat out at all. I was very confused at the time. He's like, no, I won't eat anywhere but my kitchen. So I was like, honestly, who do you think you want? Just relax. Just go eat. You're not gonna. But honestly, I was thinking about this the other day. He's totally right. Because once you learn it and once you know how easy it is to get someone sick or so a chicken is supposed to be cooked around 65 degrees for it to be sick. 164 degrees, you salmonella. You can get very, very sick. So it's very, very, you gotta be careful where you go out to eat. And alhamdulillah, you go out, nothing really happens, but it's just, you never know. Or if they don't watch it. Even right now, we were out at a restaurant, not this evening, we were out, and my mom, she can have bread, see that disease. So we told them, don't put bread at the bottom. She can't. Like, okay. So we go, we get the food, I get to the car. Right now, every time I get to the car, I always have to check the food because there's many times I get home and I open it and there's bread, and you cuss and you get home and you go back.
More bread than you want.
Yeah, you go back and you get mad. So I always check it in the car now. So I opened it, there was bread. So I don't understand why it's so hard. But anyway, so you go back and you're like, it's okay, just please, there's no bread. So when I was here, and so this place, you can see the kitchen. And the guy literally took the food out and he just put it on a tray where there was no bread, but the food was already contaminated with the bread. You need to make new food because there's bread particles on the food. So I went back and I'm like, I'm not going to pay for this, so you got to change it. Anyway, they were very nice and they didn't eat it again. My point is, though, if there wasn't that wall, if there wasn't where I could see, I would have took that food home and my mom would have ate it and she would have got sick. So you have to be very careful about trust where you go to eat. Even though I know you can't know what's in everyone's kitchen and stuff. As much as you can do your research. Just yeah.
How much weight did you lose?
45 pounds.
I don't think we all acknowledge that. I think we should congratulate
Oh,
you
no,
on
thank
the
you.
job well done.
Thank you.
As a health advocate, I know, it's very important to stay healthy, have a healthy lifestyle, and if you are a little on the bigger side, to lose weight and to be healthy. That's the
Right.
main thing. It's key.
100%, yeah.
Good for you for going to the gym.
Thank you so much.
Good
Yeah.
for you for promoting it.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Thank you.
You're 22 years young, too.
Yeah, alhamdulillah. I'm still young. Any questions?
No more from us.
The Florida cruise over is done.
We're out.
How long are you guys here for?
Just for another week.
Oh,
I'm in the process of relocating back to Michigan.
Just coming back here.
Coming back.
where
Can't
in
stay
Michigan?
away. Dearborn.
Oh, you guys are from Dearborn.
Well,
Shelby
Shelby
Township.
Shelby, all right, very nice.
You're gonna make it in time for the winter.
For the what?
You're gonna make it in time for the
For
winter.
the winter, oh my god.
Yeah, that was one
No,
thing
we're
too.
fine.
I skipped winter, so I don't know how I'm gonna do winter this year because I went
First Christmas.
in Florida. Yeah, so I went there in January, and I skipped all the cold, and I came back and now it's hot again.
Lucky you.
Yeah, but son, I have to deal with it in a couple months out. One day it was 54 degrees there, and I was freezing, and I just felt so stupid.
Were you in
It's like
Central Florida or?
I was in Orlando.
Yeah, Central, yep.
It was
It
bad.
never gets that cold in Southern
Because
Florida.
over here it gets into the negatives. And I was at 54, I was in a jacket. And I was sending snaps to my friends like I'm freezing.
That's when they all get out their boots and everything at 54 degrees,
Yeah.
as if that's the winter.
Yeah, it's insane.
Funny.
Any other questions from them? Anyone want to become a chef at all? I don't. Yeah.
I used to be a chef, not anymore.
Well, some culinary or baking?
I used to manage Baba's Girl. I used to do the
Oh,
lunch.
nice.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
We
good.
have 2 restaurants in Lebanon, so I used to work in my dad's restaurant.
Oh, very
My dad
nice.
is a teacher. He actually teaches culinary arts.
Really, that's great.
He's been teaching it since the 80s, 30 years almost.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Are we gonna be able to get your recipes, or are you gonna post them on Facebook
I have,
or
a lot-
anything?
I have pictures of I have pictures of the food I made.
No, because I mean, I want to be able, well, I'm cooking, I'm gonna be learning, so I want to be
So
able to.
eventually, definitely, because there are a few blogs out there and stuff, I do plan on doing something like that, recipes and stuff. But I do have my Instagram now, Facebook. And, I'll be honest with you, I got to be a little more active with it. I still am active, but not nearly as much as I should. But I definitely will do more videos and more techniques and stuff. Because in school, you learn. Like some people say, you don't really have to go to school. You could just be a chef or a cook. And in all honesty, you can, but I disagree a little bit because you learn a lot of different, safety in school, like
Yeah.
sanitation stuff that you're not going to learn at home.
No.
Like we all, like our moms are clean, but there's a whole different level of, like how, stuff. So, so anyone who is thinking about becoming a chef should, in my opinion, probably go to school. Not necessarily a bachelor's, but associate's or certificate, just some knowledge, or a serve safe certificate, or some knowledge of,
Henry Ford has a degree for that.
And Ford has a bachelor's, yeah.
Yeah, and it's nationally recognized actually. So
Right.
it's here in our backyard. So
Right. That's right, yeah.
Yeah.
It's very good. The chefs there are amazing. One of the chefs there went to Lee Cordon Bleu, which is a amazing culinary school, in France. So it's very, very good school.
I love it.
Where in Disney? Where in Florida? I've been to like Chef Mickey. Like, is
I
it?
was at the Artist Palace, Cinderella's Castle, and Be Our Guest.
From what year to what year?
It was 4 months,
Oh.
4.5 months. January to May.
Of
This
year.
Yeah, I just got that.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. It was a great experience.
Was there a time where you like, because it's really hot, was it fast paced when you're there, like cooking?
It's very fast paced.
So was there a time when you like really screwed up and you're just like, man?
So, try it.
I
No, it's a good question.
I'd be terrified. I'm like, man, I'm losing this opportunity. They're gonna fly me back to Dearborn.
No, it's a good question.
Or you just didn't mess up anything.
Honestly, I'm trying to. Of course, you mess up, but to mess up a big batch.
ما حدا حس.
Yeah, that's probably.
Like, that wasn't me.
That's probably. No, you do. Like anything like safety wise, no. Temperature wise, no, nothing like that. But like for example, so in Disney, the standards are very, very high, which is great. A different level of cleanliness, a different level of food and nutrition and everything. So after every single task, you have to wash your table with soap and water. I used to use palm olive because I'm a boater. So I would use soap and water after every test, wash my table. There are a few times where we're slammed, and I know my table isn't dirty because I was making, for example, bread, and I have to make the same bread over. To them, you have to wash the table, which is the right way to do it. I'm just like, there was a few times where we're really, really busy. If I wash the table, so I would have to take the bus home. Okay, I didn't take my car down there because Disney provides you free transportation. So the bus comes every half hour. I'm sorry, every hour when I was there. So to me, when I would wipe down my table, that would take, let's say, 2 minutes. It's a very bad way to think. It would take 2 minutes, let's say, and then you would go, you make your bread, but then that's 2 minutes, I'm gonna miss my bus, and I have to wait another hour. So I wouldn't wipe down my table. So that happened a few times. That was because it was really, really slammed. We had a few events where, so the resort I was at was called Saratoga Springs. It was a Disney Vacation Club member resort. So only Disney Club members can stay there, so everyone thinks they're very fancy. So sometimes we have their events there at my resort. Like any Disney event would be held at my resort. Thousands and thousands, up to 30, 40,000 people, into one resort, which is crazy. And during those days, you would work 16, 17-hour shifts. So yeah, you would work. There were shifts. My longest shift was 19 hours. It was a very, very long shift. Of course, you get breaks, but as a chef, you kind of expect to have those really, really long shifts and short breaks. But what's cool about Disney is every time you're there, you're learning. So if I'm there for 19 hours, that's 19 hours of knowledge that I just gained. That I didn't have to go to school for. Like school teaches you a whole different aspect than hands-on experience as work does. So it's good to always do both. But yeah, that was one time, right? A few times. A little bit.
Okay, I have one.
Sorry. So I was I'm at Henry Ford College. My teacher told me to apply. So my teacher is the one who went to Lee Court of Blue, which is a great culinary school, like, known worldwide. So he told me to apply there because he saw a lot of potential in me. So I applied. In the state of Michigan, 60 people applied. So the chef would come down and he would apply. Many people apply every year, but it's very hard to be accepted. Thank God I applied, and he was, I mentioned this before, he was supposed to accept 4, and thank God I was the only one. The other 4 didn't, the other 3 never got accepted. The standards are very high. So when you go, the interview is very intimidating, because you go and it's literally about knowledge. It has nothing to do with who you are and work experience. I think it's like, do you know this about food? Do you know if you're gonna make, what's a side dish you would make for like an Indian demographic? Or what's, it's kind of racist. But what would you make for, I mentioned 400 desserts for kids at Disney. So you would make, there's this new dessert called Olaf cupcake. If you guys have heard of it?
Olaf.
Yeah. So it's like a vanilla cupcake, and then there's vanilla buttercream on top, and then it comes smaller and smaller. And there's 2 carrot ears, from frozen. Anyway, so I actually applied there, and alhamdulillah, I got accepted. And that's honestly what we did.
So you recommend it for a female?
100%. I think are you her mom?
Yeah.
She would love it. She would love it. And I follow her on Instagram, and she's 13, right?
Yeah.
Just turned 14.
14.
Thank you so much. This is Aya from
Yeah.
ISP.
Sweet.
We love your work.
Yeah. She's amazing.
Should have
And honestly, I'm very sure she'll do better than me. She's very, very good. And they would love her down there. Female, not female. There was a few females down there. So in Disney Culinary, so there's Disney College program and the Disney Culinary. Disney College, there's about 12,000 students who go, interns. In Disney Culinary, there's only 300 worldwide. So it's very competitive together. But definitely, if you show a resume, of course we can talk later about that. But if you show a resume and a show book, your show book by itself should do more than enough, and just show that you're interested. It's a very intimidating interview, but you shouldn't be nervous. But it is definitely something you should be nervous. Honestly, it's okay to be nervous, but it's just
Not too much.
not too much. But anyone who has the passion for it. So when you do the interview with him, he sees your passion. He knows how much you care. The guy's been doing it. His name is Chef Paulie. He does the interviews. Doing it for over 25 years. So when he sees you, he sees your passion. You'll. So I definitely do recommend it. There's also I'm sure you guys have heard of Gordon Ramsay.
Yeah.
He has an internship program too. That's in London. Well, you're doing baking. That's a culinary internship. So that's a.
So you were talking about being health conscious.
Right.
So when you're like upset in the class or something and you need something sweet to eat, do you have a choice? Because my choice is always bread, and that's a problem. So.
Bread, yeah. So bread is great, but so there are those times where you just have that sweet tooth. So I don't mean to promote business or anything, but I slab Shatila ice cream. Shatila ice cream is the best. Yes. But there are so if I ever get like really like stressed or something from something, I go to the gym. Instead of eating, I'll go to the gym and relieve it there. It's much easier said than done, but after a few times, once you start going to the gym and you get more like into it, that's going to be your stress reliever more than. And I have sweets all the time too. It's just you're very self-conscious. Like you make sure you're not overdoing it. Like before, I would have a chocolate, and oh, that tastes good. I'd have like 10 more. So you can't. You have to like have a lot of self-control and just try to relax. Also, smoking is a big problem in our community. Gated. So thank God I don't smoke. So it's just some people do that for stress relief too. That's also instead of smoking, try to go to the gym or just even cooking. I would cook sometimes when I'm under stress. So just make something sweet, give to someone else just to piss me off. Make myself happy then. But yeah.
Are you allowed to like recreate the stuff that you made at Disney?
I am.
Like they don't care that you.
So to an extent, that's fine. If I can make it out of my house and sell it, they don't really care. But if it's more of a, so Disney is very strict about their recipes, their design too. Like there's a few. What's up?
Probably have a patent or like a copyright.
No, yeah, even like they're very, even if you pay it, they won't. But it's there are some stuff that aren't their recipes. So for example, like when I was there, I actually created one dessert. You know, they let you usually create a dessert if you're an intern and they like you, you're crazy. So I did a peanut butter mousse. It was like a peanut butter dome, a mousse mixture on top, and it was a peanut butter crumble and a chocolate sauce on the side. But you could, to open it in a business-wise, like for me to make a restaurant and sell the bread I learned there, yeah, you can. You can. I make better bread. No, I'm kidding. No, but that is something that definitely you could do from home and stuff. They don't mind that. You meet the chefs there too, and they're very cool with that too. So they'll let you take recipes and take pictures and all that. It's just if you get caught, some bakeries around here that'll make a Mickey Mouse cake and they'll post it on Instagram, and Disney searches for that stuff, and they can actually sue you. Just for making a Mickey Mouse cake.
If you have a company, if you have a registered company, but if you're not a person without a company.
Yeah. But if you have a business, which is it's very annoying, but that's just how it is. Yeah. So.
Questions?
Ali.
If you had one chef, who would it be that you would face off in a cook-off or a bake-off?
Right now, face off and lose, because face off and win.
Your dream of
Someone who I want to work with, definitely with my dream chef. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
There's George Pepe. He's a pretty good. He's actually the founder of French cuisine. One of the founders. And definitely Gordon Ramsay's up there. Bobby Flay is also very good. But the George Pepper definitely, he's very good. And there's I do watch a lot of Kitchen Nightmares.
Yeah.
Gordon Ramsay. So he's a phenomenal chef. He's very knowledgeable. He started off really young too. I think he was 13, 17. He worked in a potato factory, you know, and so he just started off peeling potatoes, and now he's one of the top chefs in the world. And also, definitely. To be honest, around here I don't know as many chefs my age, so I really couldn't say who I would like go against. I'm more into cooking than baking. I know some chefs who are like into baking and stuff. I would really say for a little Sugar Manal, I work there right now. She does amazing work, and I'm happy to learn from her and stuff. So that's one person who I'm always glad to learn. Definitely.
How about Salt Bay?
Salt Bay, that guy's a clown. he's cool. He's cool. But I don't. He does.
It must be a lot of
Yeah.
What's that?
He's cool. I don't know how. Like I know he does just meat.
Yeah.
I don't know how. You know, like he got up there really quick. Surprisingly, just I'm sure he's very knowledgeable and stuff, but to be that high to just do this is kind of silly. It's cool.
So do you have any final words before we just wrap up?
Sure. So anyone who does become a chef, not become a chef, whatever you want to do. I said this before, and honestly, I'll say it, just don't let your parents or of course, your parents care about you and they want the best for you, 100%. Every parent wants the best for you. So, but also you want the best for you too. So, always try to branch out, travel, see what. So when I was accepted to Disney, my mom and I said this didn't really want me to go because I've never left the house. I would always sit there, take care of my mom, and be in the air. So she was pretty upset. She was happy that her son is, alhamdulillah, going and getting bigger and stuff. But she's gonna miss you and stuff. So if I didn't go there, I wouldn't be where I am today, and I would have regretted it forever. So I went, and it was one of the best decisions I've ever made. And whatever it is, chef, doctor, whatever. If you want to do it, do it. If you want to be a doctor and you're going into pharmacy, just go be a doctor. Even if it takes longer in school. Some people say, well, I was one semester away from graduating with computer science in my bachelor's degree. And I just didn't do it. Some people said, just get it and then figure it out. But I don't want it. So definitely do what you're passionate
And thank you to Cheap Treats for letting us use their space.
Thank you, Ale. Ale, thank you.
Thank you.
And let's give a shout out to Zaina for organizing and Mona.
Thanks everyone for joining us.
Thank you everyone for coming.
Thank you.
Make sure you share the video on Facebook so we can reach more people and they know more about the organization. Okay. Ahmad, you want to say bye for the cameras?